Prometheus Bound, translated by James Rom. This translation is based on the text of Mark Griffith's edition for the Cambridge Greek and Latin Classic series, with variants noted in footnotes. Cast of characters in order of appearance: Power and Might, two servants of Zeus. Hephaestus, an Olympian god and son of Zeus. Prometheus, a Titan, one of the gods who preceded the Olympians. Chorus of the daughters of Ocean, sisters-in-law to Prometheus. Ocean, a Titan, father-in-law to Prometheus. Io, a mortal woman. Hermes, son of Zeus and messenger of gods. Setting: a desolate scene dominated by a huge rock outcropping. Power and Might, servants of Zeus, walk on stage, with Hephaestus following behind, dragging a chained prisoner, Prometheus. Power: we have come to the most far-flung tract of the earth, to the Scythian road, a wasteland without men. You, Hephaestus, must execute the orders your father has laid on you, to pin this villain to these bare rocks with their steep rocky faces, to wrap him in firm fetters of steely chains. Just think, he stole your glory, all crafting fire, and gave it to mortals. For this grave misstep he must pay compensation to the gods. Thus he will learn to love the rule of Zeus, and cease his fondness for the human race. Hephaestus: Power and Might, the jobs Zeus gave to you are done already, nothing stands in your way. But I cannot find it in myself to bind the kindred god to this wintry cliff. Yet I am forced to find the strength to do it. It's no light thing to flout my father's words. Turning to Prometheus: high-minded son of wise planning Themis, though neither of us wishes it, I shall stake you to this deserted waste with thy-knit bonds. Here you shall hear no voice, see no man's form, but scorched beneath the bright blaze of the sun, your skin will lose its youth. Your only joys will be when starry night conceals the daylight, or when the sun returns to scatter frost. Each pain in turn will wear you down with burdens, for there's no one yet born who can release you. Such are your rewards for loving humans. You did not fear the god's wrath, though a god, you gave to mortals honors beyond limit. For that you will stand guard on this grim rock, sleepless, unable to sit or bend your knee, your many wails and moans uttered in pain, for the mind of Zeus cannot be turned by pleas. Harsh is the ruler when rule is new begun. Power: that's enough. Why delay, indulge in pity? You should hate the god whom all the gods hate most, the one who gave your prize away to mortals. Hephaestus: But to harm my kin is dreadful, or my comrade. Power: this I admit, but to shirk your father's words, how can you do it? Don't you fear this more? Hephaestus: pitiless as ever, I see, and ever bold. Power: your whimpering for him won't cure his ills. Don't trouble over what will do no good. Hephaestus: hateful skill of my hands, I curse it now. Power: why so? I tell you, and it's no long tale. Your craft is not the cause of his hard labors. Hephaestus: still, I wish some other had my calling. Power: no job is light except to rule the gods. No one except for Zeus is truly free. Hephaestus, indicating the chains and tools he has brought. I can't deny it, these things give me proof. Power. Then go ahead and put the fetters on him, lest father look and see you loafing here. Hephaestus. He'll see a bridle ready to be used. Power. Put it around his hands, use all your strength, strike with the hammer, pin him to the rocks. Hephaestus. It's done. You see, the work did not take long. Power. Hit harder, bind him tightly, don't leave slack. He can devise impossible escapes. Hephaestus. One arm is bound and will not soon come free. Power. The other now, strapped firmly. Let him learn that all his cleverness cannot outsmart Zeus. No one could fault my work except its victim. Now drive the keen edge of this steeply spike right through his chest. Put strength behind the blow. Hephaestus. Aye, aye, Prometheus. Now I groan for your pains. Power. What? Shirking again and groaning for Zeus' foes? Watch out, you'll soon be pitying yourself. Hephaestus. You see a sight that pains the eyes to look on. Power. I see somebody getting what he deserves. Now fasten the restraints around his sides. Hephaestus. I do what I must do. Don't heap on orders. Power. I will push you. I'll shout it in your ears. Go lower now. Use force to bind his legs. Hephaestus. The job is done. He didn't need much effort. Power. Now strike with all your force to lock the shackles. The great inspector won't be trifled with. Hephaestus. Such ugly words, they match your ugly form. Power. Better to speak more gently. It's not your place to cast insults if I'm strong-willed and tough. Hephaestus. I'm going now. His limbs are tightly bound. Exits. Power to Prometheus. Now go and do your worst. Steal from the gods and give their prize to mortals, your human friends. How can they help you drain this sea of troubles? The gods who called you foresight named you wrong. It's foresight that you lack. You need it now to tell you how you can get out of this. Power and might exit, leaving Prometheus alone on stage. Prometheus. You, sacred air, and you, swift soaring winds, you springs of rivers, you endless sparkling sheen of ocean waves, and you, all-mothering earth, all-seeing circuit of sun, I call on you. See what I suffer. A god with the hands of gods, one down, outraged. See how I shall drag out 10,000 years of weary time. Such is the outrage penalty for the new prince of the gods has found. Moaning, phew, phew. I groan at every pain, the one that's here, the one to come, wondering where the end of burdens lies. But what am I saying? I knew what lay ahead. I knew everything beforehand. Nothing strange will ever come to pain me. I must endure my destined lot, certain that the power of necessity is too strong to be broken. I cannot keep my will fortunes silent, yet cannot voice them either. Such are the bounds by which I am yoked for giving fire to man. Yes, I did give it, hunted it, seal it in fennel, the wellspring of flame, teacher of every craft, a help for every need in mortal life. That's the crime for which I now must pay. Beneath the open sky, spitted to the rocks. Listening. Ah, ah. What sound, what noiseless smell is this? Is it divine or mortal or mixed? This thing that has reached me at the earth's of end. What does it want? To watch me suffer? You there, look at me, a god in chains, foe of great Zeus, the target of hate for all the gods, those courtiers who came and go in Zeus' halls because I loved mankind too much. Phew, phew. Is that rustle I hear? The sound of nearby birds? The air is whistling with a stroke of wings. Whatever nears me brings me dread. The chorus of young women, the daughters of ocean, appear, seeming to hover in an airborne vehicle. Strophe 1. Chorus. Don't be afraid, we are your friends. We who now vie on fleets of wings to reach this place with hard-won leave from ocean, our father. We found swift winds to bring us here, for a dreadful din of hammered steel shot through our cave, shaking away all grave-faced shame. No time for shows. We sped here in our winged car. Prometheus cries in surprise. Aye, 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 children of Thetis, she who bore many, and of the one who twists around the whole of the earth with unceasing flow, Father Ocean. Look here, see here, how am I pinned with chains, and hold on the upper crag of this jagged cliff, a guard post none would want. Chorus. We see Prometheus, a fearsome mist of tears has clouded our eyes as we look at your body stretched out here, baked with withered on this rock, outraged by chains of hardest steel. New are the steersmen who hold Olympus, new are the laws by which Zeus rules, laws that do not deserve the name. He has locked away the gargantuans of old. Prometheus. Would he had buried me with them deep down, bound me there with unbending chains, in Tartarus' endless pit, and the halls of Hades trade therein corpses, then no one, no god, no mortal, would laugh over this. But no, I suffer in open air, tossed by the winds, a joy to my foes. Chorus. Who takes such joy? What god has such a flinty heart? Who wouldn't mourn instead for your pains? Only Zeus, the one who has set his mind forever against the race of Uranus, the one who will not cease from spite until he is sated, or until some trickster sees his hard-won crown. Prometheus. Yes, that's so. Even though I'm not disgraced, bound hand and foot, yet the head man of the blessed will one day need me to reveal the new design by which his staff of power will be snatched away. When that day comes, I will not yield to the spell of his honeyed coaxing words, nor bend before his iron threats. Nothing will make me tell what I know, until he undoes these pitiless bonds and pays me back the ways that he outraged me. Chorus. That's brave. You don't give in the gnawing pain, but you speak too freely. A piercing fear stirs up my mind, a dread of where your path might lead, where you might find an end of strife and reach safe harbor. For Cronos' son has an iron heart that can't be swayed. Prometheus. He's tough, I know, and gives no ground when he makes his verdicts. Even so, his heart will soften in the end, when he is destroyed by what's to come. Then his temper will be soothed, and he looked to me as ally and friend. He'll rush towards me, and I toward him. Uncover all and tell us everything. On what charge did Zeus make you prisoner, heaping such shame and outrage upon you? Teach us your tale, unless it might bring you harm. Prometheus. It's painful even to speak these things, but also pain not to speak them. I'll fade either way. When the gods began their rage at one another, and civil strife was stirred up in their ranks, some wanting to pitch Cronos off his throne so that their precious Zeus might reign, the rest striving to guarantee Zeus wouldn't rule. Then I brought forth my strategies and urged them on Titan gods, offspring of earth and sky, but couldn't win their trust. Minds set on force, they spurned my tricks and subtleties and thought that they'd use strength to stay in power. No trouble. And yet my mother, Themis, call her, or Gaia, she's the one under all her names, had often foretold to me just what the future held, that force and strength of arm would not be needed, but those with greater craft and wiles would rule. Though I explained these matters to the Titans, they didn't care to even look them over. Of all my options then, this seemed the best, to take my mother with me and join sides with Zeus, as both he wanted and I wanted. It was by my schemes that the deep dark pit of Tartarus now hides the ancient Cronos, him and his allies. But getting all this from me, the tyrant of the gods has paid me back with foul rewards. These chains you see me in. An illness somehow sickens all usurpers, the inability to trust their friends. But I'll now answer what you ask. The charge on which he visits outrages upon me. Newly seated on his father's throne, he set out to divide up spoils and put his reign in order. But he had no regard for the long-suffering race of men. He planned to make them vanish and create a new race. No one opposed this plan except for me. I had the courage. I spared humankind from going broken to the depths of Hades. Thus comes it that I am bent under these scourges, painful to suffer, grievous to look upon. I put men first in pity, and then found there was none left for me. Without mercy I am forced into line, a sight to bring Zeus shame. Chorus. Iron-hearted or made of stone are they who would not grieve, Prometheus, for your troubles. As for me, I wish I'd never seen them, but having seen, I'm pierced straight through the heart. Prometheus. To friends I am indeed a sight to pity. Chorus. Did you perhaps do more than what you've told us? Prometheus. I allowed mankind to stop foreseeing doom. Chorus. What medicine did you find for that disease? Prometheus. Planted in them hopes that would obscure it. Chorus. That was a worthy gift you gave to mortals. Prometheus. There's more. I gave them fire as their companion. Chorus. So now the mortal race owns blazing fire. Prometheus. Yes. And they'll learn many arts from it. Chorus. Then it's for crimes like these that Zeus decided. Prometheus. To wreak atrocities and not relent. Chorus. Is there no appointed limit for your struggle? Prometheus. None, except whatever day he chooses. Chorus. Choose? Why would he? What hope in that? Don't you see that you've gone wrong? No joy for me to say how wrong you've gone, and pain for you to hear. Let's leave that. Seek some respite from your toils. Prometheus. Easy thing, when standing clear of troubles, to counsel and advise with thoughtful words those laboring on the rack. I know all of this. I chose to go wrong, and I won't deny it. I helped mankind and brought pains on myself, but I never thought he'd give me pains like this. Hung out to parch upon this spire of rock, exiled to a desert, neighborless, alone. But don't, I pray you, grieve for present evils. Step down onto the ground and hear what's coming. Learn how my story runs and how it ends. Do this, I beg you. Share the heavy burden of him who toils before you, for you know that pain's a wanderer. It roams now here, now there. Chorus. What you ask, Prometheus, is what I want. With nimble foot I now desert this speedy perch, and year the holy path for birds, to join you on your jagged rock, for I want to hear straight to the end your tales of troubles. The chorus step from their conveyance onto the stage. On that moment Ocean, their father, enters, mounted on a monstrous bird, perhaps a griffin. Ocean. I have come to you, Prometheus, at the end of a very long road, steering this swift-winged bird, but by my thoughts, without need of reins. Know this, that I grieve your misfortunes. Kinship alone decrees this, I think, but also beyond our ties of blood. There is no one whom I favor more than I do you. You will soon know how true I speak. I use no empty, wheedling words. Just say what I can do to help. You'll never claim a surer friend than I who stand before you. Ocean. Prometheus. Huh? What's this? Are you here too, arriving to gawk at pains? How did you find the nerve to leave the river that bears your name, your caves, those rock-roofed caves that nature carved, to come here, to a land that's iron's mother? Come to see my misfortunes, as you say, and share my pain? Behold the sight. See how the friend of Zeus, the one who helped establish him in rule, is crippled by him under pains like this. Ocean. I see them, Prometheus, and I bring advice. What's best for you, though I know you're always scheming. Learn to know yourself and learn new ways, for new, too, is the ruler of the gods. If you throw down these harsh and whetted words, perhaps, tough throned on high and far removed, Zeus may hear you and make this host of toils you suffer now seem only children's games. You must, poor wretch, give up this mood of yours and seek a way to free yourself from troubles. Perhaps my words will seem old-fashioned to you, but the wages of too proud tongue, Prometheus, are the kinds of things you're undergoing now. You're not yet humbled. You don't yield to troubles, but always seek to add to those you have. Adopt my teachings, and you will no longer kick out against the goads that sting. You'll see that cruel monarchs can't be audited. Yet I shall go to him. I'll do what I can to free you from these pains that now beset you. Just hold your peace. Don't give your tongue free rein. With all your wisdom, you find it hard to see that useless ranting brings on punishment. Prometheus. Congratulations, you've stayed free of blame, although you dared to share my lot with me. I tell you, let this be. Don't let it vex you. You won't persuade him anyway. He's past that. Look to your safety. Going there might harm you. Ocean. You're better at looking out for those near to you than for yourself. I judge by deeds, not word. But don't stand in the way of what I've started. I tell you this, Zeus will give what I ask as a gift to me. He'll free you from these labors. Prometheus. I praise this in you, and I'll go on praising. You have no lack of zeal, but save your effort. Your troubles will be in vain and will not help me, if indeed you're willing to go so far to act. Remain at peace, don't get yourself involved. Just because I'm suffering, I don't want my sufferings to spread to each and all. No way, my brother's fate already grieves me. Atlas, who stands in the western tracts of the world, propping upright the pillar of earth and heaven with his two shoulders, away beyond all bearing. I've seen as well the earth's born one, grim monster, as he crouched in Kilician caves, and pitied him. He on the 100 heads, brought low by might, the raging Typho. He fought all gods at once, hissing out terror from his fearsome jaws, ferocious lightnings shooting from his eyes, as if to take down Zeus' rule by force. But at him came the unsleeping bolt of Zeus, the sky-dropped thunderclap, all wetted in flame, and knocked him down from his high-hearted boasts. The blow went deep into his heart and mind. His strength was lightning seared, reduced to ash, and now he lies a useless, sprawling mass, crushed beneath the base of mighty Etna, beside the straits of the Messenian Sea. Hephaestus sits there, on the highest ridges, and smites hot iron. Streams of fire will burst forth, devouring with the jaws of savage beasts the spreading fields of Sicily fair and fruit. Such is the bile that Typho will set boiling, will hot blasts of deadly firestorm, despite the bolts of Zeus that cindered him. But you know this, no need to have me teach you, so save yourself the best way you know how. As for me, I'll plumb the depths of troubles, until such time as Zeus relents me from wrath. Ocean. But you must know, Prometheus, that words are healers. They cure the temper of a mind that's sick. Prometheus. True, if the time is ripe for hearts to be softened, when the tumor of pride still swells, don't use the lance. Ocean. What cost do you discern in eagerness and trying something bold? Teach me your thoughts. Prometheus. I see a useless toil and empty folly. Ocean. Then let me suffer this disease. It's better to think right thoughts than others deem them wrong. Prometheus. But your misstep will seem to come from me. Ocean. Clearly your words would have me travel homeward. Prometheus. Yes, lest your dirge for me make you a target. Ocean. For the one you seated on the throne of might? Prometheus. It's his heart you must take care not to anger. Ocean. Your ruin is my teacher, Prometheus. Prometheus. Get going then. Keep to the course you're on. Ocean. You speak to one already on the way. My 4-foot bird is skimming with his wings the level paths of air. He will be glad to bend his knees, I think, in his own stall. Ocean exits as he has entered, flying on his winged beasts. Chorus. I grieve for your fate, Prometheus. A tear-dropping stream from my delicate eyes runs down my cheek. Wet fountains bedew me. This is the baneful rule of Zeus. The self-made laws, the arrogant might he brandishes over the gods who once were. Every land groans in lament for you. The cry for your honor, so grand and age-renowned, and that of your kindred gods too, all those who inhabit the settled land of holy Asia, mortal man, suffer along with the sufferings you groan for. Those in the Colchian land, maidens fearless in battle, the Scythian race that inhabits the uttermost region of earth around Lake Meothis, the warrior chief of Arabia, who dwell in the high-walled city near the Caucasus Mountains, their terrible host battle-roaring with sharp-pointed spears. The waves of the sea shout their grief, by splashing together the depths, moan, the black cave of Hades groans below ground. The spring of sacred rivers lament for a pain deserving of pity. Prometheus. Don't imagine that pride of self-regard keeps me from speaking. It's rather the agony of seeing myself misused. I'm bit to the heart. Who else but I gave out, from first to last, rewards and honors to these younger gods. But I'll not speak of that. You know already. Instead, hear now the pains of humankind. They were like children in their wits before, until I taught them how to use their minds. I speak as one who has no blame for humans. I only mean to show what good I did them. Though they had power of sight, they did not see. Hearing, they did not hear. Like shapes of dreams, they spent their whole lives shuffling things together in random patterns. They knew no brick-built houses to shield them from the sun, nor works of wood. Like crawling ants, they hid themselves in holes, in dark and sunless caverns underground. No signposts did they have of winter's coming, nor that of flowery spring, nor fecund summer. No certainties, haphazard all year long, until I show the risings of the stars to them, and settings too, both hard to read. There's more. The ways of numbers, wisdom's crown, I found for them, and letters forming words, from which come memory's power and every art. I was the first to tie their beasts in teams, enslaving these to yokes and saddlebags, that they might take men burdens on their backs. I put their horses under reins and tamed them to be the badge of wealth and luxury, and none but I discovered carriages that crossed the seas on wings of woven flax. All these things I devised for mortal man, but now I'm lost myself. There's no contrivance to get me free from all this suffering. Chorus. Disgraceful pain indeed. Your wits have failed you. You're like a doctor who has fallen ill. No courage left and no way to discover what medicine to take to get you well. Prometheus. But hear the rest, you'll marvel even more. The arts that I devised, the smart solutions. This was the greatest whenever man got sick. There was no remedy, no drink, nor salve, nor healing food, and lacking medicines, they simply wasted away, until I showed them how to mix up the gentle curative with which they now ward off every disease. Showed them too the ways of prophecy, how to divine from dreams what was to come, and how to find the meanings in odd sounds or chance encounters on the paths and ways. I marked out patterns in the flights of birds, the lucky from the right, the left unlucky, and habits of each kind, which birds they favor, which they avoid, and which they prey upon. I taught them to read entrails, which are smooth, what color gives more pleasure to the gods, what spotting is most lovely in a liver. I showed the mantic arts of sacrifice, the burning of the thigh bones wrapped in fat and great backbone, and how to read the signs they give when burned, which used to be obscure. So much for that. The things below the earth, the hidden benefits for humans, namely iron, bronze, and gold, and silver. Who could say he found them earlier than I? No one except a braggart blowing smoke. To sum it all up in the briefest words, all arts that mortals use come from Prometheus. Chorus. But don't give mortals too much benefit while you neglect your own unhappy lot. I am hopeful that you will one day be set free from these harsh bonds and be as strong as Zeus. Prometheus. Not yet does fate, which brings all things to pass, allow this outcome that I flee these bounds. though broken by 1,000 pains and woes. All art is weaker than necessity. Chorus. Who charts the course of this necessity? Prometheus. The threefold fates and unforgetting furies. Chorus. Does even Zeus lack power over these? Prometheus. He can't escape from things that are ordained. Chorus. And what's ordained for Zeus except his rule? Prometheus. You won't learn that from me. Don't ask again. Chorus. I see. You have some holy secret, so? Prometheus. Let's talk of something else. It's not yet time for that this be spoken of. It must stay hid, as much as is in my power. If I hide it, someday I'll flee these shameful bonds and pains. Chorus. This be my prayer. May Zeus, ruler of all, never set his power against my mind. May I not be slow when I make for the gods holy slaughters of oxen by the ceaseless streams of my father ocean. May I never give offense with my words. May these prayers abide and not melt away. Sweet is to the stench of love. Sweet it is to stretch out life, amid confident hopes and to feed one's heart on bright and cheery things. But looking at you, your countless wounds and lacerations, I shudder. You have too little fear of Zeus and too much reverence for mortals, Prometheus. What helps is there for the help you gave? Where is your rescue? Tell me, friend. What can mere mortals do to save you? Didn't you see the weakness, the trance, the fetters all of their blind race? Their plans can never evade the orchestration of Zeus. So I discovered as I beheld your failed Prometheus, how different the song I hear it now, that I sang around your bath and your bed on your wedding day when you married my sister, Hesione, and brought her home as your wife. Io, entering in wild confusion, her form partly that of a cow. What place? What people? Whom do I see here? He's chained to the rocks and beaten by storms. You there, what crime are you paying for? Tell me, what land have my miseries brought me to? Struck by sudden pain. Aye. That stinger, it sticks me again. It's Argos' ghost, the earthborn monster. Get him off, help me, it's horrible. The sight of the 100-eyed Sherpa. He walks about with his magical eyes. He's dead, but he won't stay underground. He comes from below and hunts poor me, won't let me eat, drives me about, across the sands by the barren shore. Wait, I hear the wax joint pipes, answering me with sleep-bringing song. Oh, the pain! Where have my far roving wanderings brought me? Why, son of Cronos, why? What wrong did I do, that you yoke me to torments like this? Cries again. Aye, and drive a wretched girl to madness in fear of the gadfly's sting. Scorch me with flame, bury me alive, feed me to monsters of the deep. Only grant my prayer, O king. My travels have traveled far enough. They've done me in. I cannot see a way to flee from this torment. Do you hear? Is the voice of the cow-horned girl. Prometheus. Hear? Yes, of course. It's the daughter of Inachus speaking, the one driven on by the gadfly. She hits Zeus' heart with passion and so the target of Hera's hate. She is driven, perforce, to run her unending races. Io, how did you learn my father's name? Who are you? Tell me, wretched though I am, one wretch to another. Who are you to speak so much truth, putting a name to my God-sent disease, whose touches destroy me with far-roaming stings? She stung again. Here I come, leaping and jerking, unable to eat, an outrageous fate, a victim of Hera's spite and schemes. Tell me, who else among the unlucky have suffered as I? Or else show me clearly what troubles await me. Is there a help or a cure for my illness? If you know this, then tell me. Speak out for the sake of the maid of hard travels. Prometheus, I'll tell you clearly all you want to know. I won't use riddles, only simple speech. The right way for a friend to talk to friends. I am Prometheus, who gave fire to mortals. Io, alas, Prometheus, boon to humankind. For what then do you pay this penalty? Prometheus, I've just now reached the end of telling those troubles. Io, well, would you offer this small boon to me? Prometheus, ask what you will, I'll answer anything. Io, then tell me who has bound you to this cliff. Prometheus, Zeus made the plan, Hephaestus did the deed. Io, what sort of errors do you thus atone for? Prometheus, I've made this clear already, that's enough. Io, then let me ask about my end of wandering. How much time yet remains for my misfortunes? Prometheus, it's better not to know this than to know. Io, whatever lies ahead, don't hide it from me. I don't withhold it simply out of spite. Io, why then? Will you not utter everything? Prometheus, I grudge you not, but fear to shake your wits. Io, don't take more care for me than I would want. Prometheus, it seems you are firm, and I must speak, so hear. Chorus, not yet. Give me a portion too of pleasure. Allow us first to learn of her disease, and let her tell the perils in her past. Then you can add the sequel of her sufferings. Prometheus, it's up to you, Io, to grant this favor, especially since they are your father's sisters, to make lament and to bewail one's troubles before an audience that will be moved to weep for them. It's hardly wasted time. Io, to the chorus, I don't see why I shouldn't trust you all. You'll learn in clear words everything you ask, though telling it brings grief. The God-sent storm that wrought this transformation of my body, from where it came to strike a wretched girl. Dream visions used to come and visit me within my maiden's chambers. He spoke to me with glowing words. Lucky, lucky girl. Why stay so long a virgin when you can contract a royal marriage? Zeus himself has felt the heat of passion's dart for you. He yearns for Aphrodite's rights. Don't spurn him. Go from your home to Lerna's deepest meadow. There, where your father has his flocks and cow stalls, so that the eyes of Zeus may cease from longing. Such dreams held me in thrall, night after night, until downcast. I dared to tell my father about what I was seeing in the dark. He sent off swarms of messengers to ask at Delphi and Dodona what to do, or what to say to satisfy the gods. They came back bearing slippery replies, obscure and hard to read, until one day clear instruction came to Inachus, enjoining him to trust me from my home and from my native land, and set me roving like some untethered beast in furthest realms, saying that if he did not, Zeus would send a fiery bolt to blot out all his kin. He trusted in these oracles of Apollo. He drove me out and locked the doors against me, a heartache to us both, but forced upon him, for Zeus' reins were driving all he did. My shape and mind now both became contorted, my gait became mad leaping as I went towards Lerna's spring and the sweet stream of Kertne. And I had horns, you see them, a stinging fly now grazed on me, and the earthborn herdsman Argus, implacable, now walked beside me, watching, with all his many eyes, my every step. But suddenly, against all expectations, fate robbed him of his life. Meanwhile, fly-bitten, I range from land to land, the gods of my goddess. To Prometheus, you've heard what's happened. If you know anything about the toils ahead, speak out. Don't give me the comfort of false tales. For I proclaim invented words to be the basest illness. Chorus, with cries of dismay. Keep her away, keep her away. Never did I think I'd hear such alien words. I never thought my soul would ever be stung like this by sufferings, outrages, terrors. Hard to see and hard to bear. Alas for fate. The sight of Io fills me with fear. Prometheus, your groans and fearfulness have come too soon. Hold back a while until you learn the rest. Chorus, speak on and teach it. It's always best, when one is ill, to know the pains ahead. Prometheus, to the chorus. The first of your requests has now been granted. With help from me, you ask to hear the story of this girl suffering from her own lips. Now hear the sequel, what must be endured by this woman at the hands of Hera. Turning to Io, daughter of Inachus, now heed these words, that you may now know the limits of your journey. When you leave here, head east. When you leave here, head east towards the sun rising. Seek out the fields that have not known a plough. You reach the nomad Scythians, whose straw homes stand off the ground, up high, on well-wheeled carts, whose weapons are the arrow and twanging bow. Do not approach them. Stay right by the shore, your feet in briny sand, as you pass by them. On your left hand you'll find the Calibes, workers of iron. These you must watch out for. They're brutal men and do not take to strangers. You'll reach the Hebristes river, aptly named. Don't cross it. This is not a stream to ford. You'll follow it to Caucasus, highest of mountains. From its steep sides, the river gushes out in torrents. You must cross sky-grazing peaks and take a southern path toward the noon soon, to reach the Amazon host, haters of men, who one day will remove the Themyscira and dwell around the river Thermodon, where Salmidesus youths, just like a soul, like joy in the sea, hazard to sailors, stepmother to ships. Those Amazon will gladly be your guides. You'll reach an isthmus by the narrow gates of the march. It's called Cimmerian. You must steel yourself to leave it and to swim to Meotic Straits. Mortals will tell the legend of this crossing forevermore, and the place will get its name, the Cowford Bosporus. This takes you out of Europe. You'll come to Asia now, to the chorus. So now, you see, the tyrant of the gods is even-handed in cruelty. He set these wanderings because he, a god, lusted for her, a mortal. To Io, how harsh a suitor came to seek your hand, dear girl, for all the words I've said so far are but a prologue to your tale of woe. Io cries in pain as though stung. No! Prometheus, again you cry and moan. What will you do when you have learned your full forecast of evils? Chorus, can there be still more trials left to tell? Prometheus, yes, a storm-tossed sea of woe and ruin. Io, then what's the use of living? Why not jump this moment from the rock of which I stand? Smashed on the ground below, I would be free of all my troubles. Better to die once than live out all one's days in suffering. How would my toils defeat you, then, since I am fated to endure them and not die? That would be my release from pain, but no end point lies ahead for my long labors, except the fall of Zeus from off his throne. Io, the fall of Zeus? But can that ever be? Prometheus, you would rejoice to see that fall, I think. Io, how could I not? I'm ruined, thanks to Zeus. Prometheus, rejoice then, for this will indeed take place. Io, but who will take away the tyrant's scepter? Prometheus, by foolish plans he'll strip it from himself. Io, what do you mean? Say more, if there's no danger. Prometheus, he'll make a marriage that will bring him grief. Io, with God or mortal, if this can be spoken. Prometheus, don't ask me for a name that can't be spoken. Io, then will his wife remove him from his throne? Prometheus, she'll bear a child who can defeat its father. Io, there's no escaping from this destiny. Prometheus, there isn't, until I am freed from prison. Io, but who will free you if Zeus stands against it? Prometheus, one of your offspring, so it needs must be. Io, what? A son of mine will end your troubles? Prometheus, the grandson of your 10th removed descendant. Io, the prophecies surpass my understanding. Prometheus, then don't seek out the secret of your future. Io, don't offer me this boon and then refuse it. Prometheus, I'll give you only one of 2 accounts. Io, which ones? Say what they are, then let me choose. Prometheus, choose them. I'll either say what lies ahead in your tale of woe, or else tell who will free me. Chorus, give one to her, the other tell to us. Don't disregard the ones who crave your story. Tell her what still remains of wandering. Tell us of your deliverer. That's my wish. Prometheus to the chorus. Since you're so eager, I will not refuse to tell you everything you want to hear. To Io. First you, the tale of the road on which you're driven. Inscribe my words on the tablets of your mind. When you have crossed the stream between the continents, head toward the fiery rising of the sun. You'll cross the billowing sea and finally come to Sistene and the plain of Gorgons. There the daughters of Phorcys dwell, 3 ancient virgins, like swans in form, sharing a single eye, each one with 1 tooth. Neither the sun bright rays nor nightly moonshine ever reach these 3. Near them are their 3 sisters, winged creatures, the Gorgons, snaky-haired, reviled by mortals. No one who looks upon them still draws breath. Guard against these as you would a hostile army. Now hear your next unfriendly spectacle. Watch out for sharp-beaked, barkless hounds of Zeus, the griffins, the Arimaspian host, the one-eyed horsemen who inhabit there, beside the gold-flecked stream of river Pluto. Avoid these men, you'll reach a distant land, and dark-skinned race that dwells by springs of the sun, there where the river flows, called Aethiops. Follow along its banks until you come to a cataract, where from the Biblian mountains the Nile pours forth its sweet and sacred waters. This river leads you to the 3-sided land, the Delta, where you, Io, and your children are fated to found a thriving settlement. If any of what I've told you seem obscure, just ask again and I'll repeat more clearly. I have more leisure than I want just now. Chorus. If you've skipped anything, or if there's more to tell about her ruinous wanderings, then tell it. But if that's all, then grant us the favor we requested. You recall it? Prometheus. She heard it all, the end point of her journey, but lest she thinks she's listened uselessly, I'll tell what she endured before she came here. I offer this as pledge my words are truth. To Io. I'll leave this side the bulk of storytelling and go to the last leg of your past journey. When first you reach the Molossian plain that lie above the steep side of Dodona, the seat of prophecy of Thesprotian Zeus, the speaking oaks, a wonder past belief, held you distinctly, and no riddling words, as the illustrious wife-to-be of Zeus. Does any of this story bring you pleasure? Then, Gadfly stung. You took the seaside path and reached the great bay named for a goddess, Rhea. Storms drove you off from there, with back-drawn steps. But for the rest of time this gulf of sea will have the name Ionian, known this well, a signpost to all men that once you came there. So there's a token of my powers of mind, which see things far beyond of the reach of sight. To Io and to the chorus. I'll tell the rest to both of you at once. I here resume the track of my former tale. A city, Canobus, lies by the Nile, on the very tip of Silt at the river's mouth. It's here Zeus will restore you to your wits, by merely touching you with a harmless hand. You'll bear a dark-skinned child named Epaphus, in memory of how Zeus sired him. He will reap the fruits of all the land that the broad Nile waters, but his great-great-grandchildren, a clan of 50, all women, will return to Argos, your homeland, unwillingly to avoid an incestuous marriage with cousins. This man, quivering with impatience, hawks in pursuit of doves, and catching up will chase them, haunting marriages they should not. The god won't let them have the woman's bodies. Pelasgian land will drip with female slaughter. The man will be crushed by a boldness that lurks in the night, for each of the women will take the life of her husband, dipping two-bladed swords in streams of gore. Thus may the Cyprian visit all my foe. But passion will bewitch one of these women, stop her from slaying her bedmate, blunt her purpose. She will prefer to hear herself called coward rather than blood-stained murderess. She is the one who will bear a royal race to rule in Argos. It would require long words to tell it clearly. From her descendants there will come a bold one, famous archer, who will set me free from these travails. Such was the prophecy my ancient mother, Titan Themis, told me. The how and why would need long explanation, and learning it would be no use to you. Io stung again, crying wildly, "Alai, alalai!" Again the seizure, the mind-shaking madness, it sets me ablaze. The gadfly, the barb, not forged by fire, it punctures me. In fierce, my heart kicks against my chest. My eyes whirled round in spiral orbits. I'm off the track, beyond what's sane. Blown by a raging wind, my tongue babbling, a torrent of words dashes disordered into the waves of my hateful folly. She runs off stage. Chorus. Wise indeed was he who first weighed this in his mind and proclaimed it with his tongue. Marriage on equal terms, which is much the best lot. A poor farm hand ought not yearn for a spouse whose life has been made soft by wealth, or whose lineage contains exalted names. Never, O fates, may you see me becoming the sharer of Zeus' bed. Never may I wed one of the sky dwellers. I am afraid as I look upon Io, her maidenhood which lacked man's love, destroyed by Hera, with wanderings and hard travels. But if my marriage is on equal terms, I have nothing to fear. Let not the passion of powerful gods cast inescapable eyes on me. That's a war that can't be fought, contriving things beyond contrivances. Who would I be, for what I can't see a way, to flee from the guile of Zeus? Prometheus. Zeus, However insolent his thoughts, Zeus will be humbled. He's headed toward a marriage that will eject him from his tyrant's throne and make him nothing. Thus his father's curse, the curse of Kronos, uttered as he fell from the throne he long had held, will be fulfilled. No one among the gods can show him clearly how to avert these toils, except for me. I know what's coming and how it'll come. Let Zeus sit there unfearing, trusting in thunderclaps, holding aloft the fiery lightning bolt. These weapons will do nothing to protect him from falling a shameful fall, a fall past bearing. He himself is preparing to beget his own opponent, a dangerous foe to fight, who will discover a fire greater than lightning, and mighty crashing louder than any thunder. He'll splinter too the trident spear of Poseidon, that sickly staff he wields to shake the seas. Once broken by this evil Zeus will learn how far apart is rule from slavery. Chorus. This prophecy is merely what you wish for. Prometheus. It's what will come to pass, and what I want. Chorus. Zeus will be conquered. This is what awaits us. Prometheus. He'll suffer pains more arduous than mine. Chorus. Why are you not afraid to make such boasts? Prometheus. Why should I fear, since death is not my fate? Chorus. Zeus might send trouble even worse than this. Prometheus. Well, let him do so. I've foreseen it all. Chorus. It's wise to bow before necessity. Prometheus. Go fawn upon the ruler of the hour. This Zeus is less than nothing in my eyes. Let him rule on for his short time and do what pleases him. His reign will not be long. Seeing Hermes, son of Zeus, approaching his rock. But look, this errand boy of Zeus is coming, the lackey of the tyrant's new regime. No doubt we are to have some fresh decree. Hermes. You there, you clever one, the rebel's rebel, the one who wronged the gods and gave their honors to lowly humans, the famous thief of fire. My father orders you. Reveal this marriage you boasts about, the one that brings his downfall, and tell it all in detail. Don't use riddles. Don't give me cause to come back here again. Prometheus. You see that the father Zeus will never yield to idle threats like yours. Prometheus. Lofty speech and full of self-regard, how fitting for the bootlick of the gods. You young gods, new in rule, you think you dwell in towers that never topple. Have I not seen tyrants twice already hurled from them? And I shall see a third, the one now reigning, fall shamefully and soon. Now do I tremble? Or do I seem to fear these greenhorn gods? Not much, no, not at all. But as for you, trot back along the road on which you came. You'll get no answers to your questions here. Hermes. More insolence, same kind as before, had got you anchored in this misery. Prometheus. Perhaps. But I choose punishment like mine over servitude like yours. Go think on that. Hermes. With sarcasm. Oh, sure. To be a servant to a rock is better than trusted messenger of Zeus. Prometheus. An insult that insulters well deserve. Hermes. You seem to revel in your imprisonment. Prometheus. Revel? Do I? Then may I see my foes reveling just like me, and you among them. Hermes. You hold me to blame for your misfortune? Prometheus. I'll make this easy. I hate all the gods who hurt me so unjustly and still prosper. Hermes. Your words are proof. You're mad. Your mind diseased. Prometheus, if hating the gods is sick, then I'll be sick. Hermes, if you were well, you'd be unbearable. Prometheus groans in mock distress. Oh my! Hermes, what was that cry of pain? Zeus doesn't know it. Prometheus, just wait. Great lengths of time teach every lesson. Hermes, yet here you are, not learning to be wise. Prometheus, true? Or I wouldn't be talking to you, chore boy. Hermes, clearly you'll give my father no information. Prometheus, I'd happily pay him back what he's got coming. Hermes, you taunt me just as though I were a child. Prometheus, but aren't you one, or something even simpler? If you think you'll learn anything from me, there's no invention, no new form of torture that Zeus could use to make me tell he this, before he loosens these disgraceful shackles. Rain down the scorching fire on my head. Will everything into chaos. Let the air be filled with blizzards and the ground with thunder. Nothing of this will make me bend or tell at whose hands he must fall from off his throne. Hermes, you'd be consider. Will this help your cause? Prometheus, it's been considered and planned out long ago. Hermes, you are misguided. Look at your present woes and bring yourself one day to change your mind. Prometheus, you swamp me with a useless wave of words. Don't ever let this thought ever enter your head, that I'll feel Zeus' judgment, turn soft-minded, and kneel to supplicate to one I loathe. My hands held up to him in woman's fashion to free me from these bonds. I'll never do it. Hermes, if I say more, I will be wasting words. Since my entreaties have not softened you, rather you bite like an unbroken colt, the bridle with your teeth and fight the reins. But it's an unsound plan that fuels your rage. Mere stubbornness without the help of wisdom is weaker by itself than everything. Consider, if you don't obey my orders, what storm of evils, what gigantic wave will break on you with no escape. My father will smash this rock with thunderclaps and fiery lightning bolts. He'll bury you and tomb you in an envelope of rock after an endless stretch of time goes by. You'll come back to the daylight. Now the eagle, that murderous bird, the winged hound of Zeus, will savagely slash tatters from your body. A daily banqueter who comes unbidden. He'll fest upon you, you mangled, blackened liver. And don't expect these sufferings to end until some god agrees to take your place and volunteers to go down into Hades, the sunless realm, and Tartarus' gloomy depths. Take stock of this. It's not a boast or fiction. The future I've described is all too real. The mouth of Zeus does not know how to lie. Whatever he says will be. Just look around you. Consider them. Don't count on stubbornness or ever think it's better than good counsel. Chorus. It seems to us that Hermes speaks in season, bidding you let go your willfulness and choose instead good counsel, a wiser course. Do as he says. The wise should not do wrong. Prometheus. All that he said I knew he would say. What's more, there's no shame if a foe will get mistreatment from his foes. So let the two-edged sword of flame be hurled at me, and let the air be roiled with thunder and with winds. In wild convulsion let the earth be shaken to its very roots. Let waves of sea foam up and flood the paths of stars as they cross the sky. Let him throw down my body into Tartarus' black pit with harsh tornadoes of force. There's no way he can kill me. Hermes, one hears such words and schemes often from raving madmen. Such boasts are clearly striking wide of the mark, close to insanity. To the chorus, you there, you showed some sympathy for this one's pains. Leave this place and leave it fast, or else the cruel thunder roar may stun you into witlessness. Chorus, give us some other kind of command and we might obey. The words of dragged in we cannot tolerate. How can you bid us be base? Pointing to Prometheus, we'll share with him that which we must. We've learned to hate those who turn traitor. There is no disease I spit on more than treachery. Hermes, well, then, remember what I've said, and when you're caught in folly snares, don't blame bad luck. Don't ever say that Zeus hurled ruin down on you without foreknowing. Don't, I tell you. You did this to yourselves. You knew. Not suddenly or stealthily or in ignorance will you be coiled inside blind folly endless net. Hermes exits. Roaring and thunder are heard as Zeus begins to unleash his cataclysm. Prometheus. So, in truth, not just in threats, the earth begins to quake. The crash of thunder rumbles back from the depths below, bring bright curls of flame flash forth, and whirlwinds spin the dust. The clashing winds leap madly about, vying as if in civil war, all against all. The upper air is mingled with the sea below, such is the fearsome stroke of Zeus, levelled at me, in sight of all. Majesty of my Mother Earth, bright sky that lets the common light whirl round, you see me here, and see my lot, injustice.